you did mention the draft for new esports has no frontliner, someone to stand in front, but that is what new esports is, right? Even from back in the days of Team High Ground into Flower Gaming, they've been playing this kind of lineup. Other than when Centaur was pretty meta, they always like to run this kind of lineup where they can't just forfeit the front line, but they still somehow manage to win fights because of how synergized they are. I think it's one of their characteristics. Into the Prophet, perhaps the Resonant Pulse does help with all this harassment from the trends. The physical damage shield is pretty helpful. Generally, you can also clear out the trends with the Resonant Pulse as well, so I guess Mag wouldn't feel too bad about it. But judging from how things are going to go, this middle lane probably will be pretty still between DDZ and Mag, as well as the side lanes where this Luna will probably push the lane out pretty often. If you are looking at this Ogre Magi post tree, this Bob and Grimstroke lane, so apparently it's a co-op support.
Co-op support, okay. Interesting. I want to see how she plays out as the game gets later on, because co-op early levels, she's going to be very level dependent. She needs those levels to really become effective. We'll have to take a look a little bit later on. In the meantime though, DDZ looks like he's having a heyday mid, but I think the same could be said for Mac. He's doing pretty well. He's not so worried about these treants. He's just focusing on that CS, and eventually we're going to see who gets that first blood. I think especially for this matchup and how important the tempo is for both teams, first blood will be pretty important. And if mid can get it, then it's a pretty big head start for whoever gets that kill.
Yeah.
Natsumi, though, going to be pairing up against Candy Loon. None of these heroes should die, in theory, but we have seen some crazy things in Southeast Asia. I think Natsumi's got a pretty good matchup here. Harassed by Puck, sure, but there's no way he should die.
Yeah. I guess the issue is that if you talk about just trading, right? If your Dragon Knight can just has a lesser chance of dying, because if you just trade face to face, Dragon Knight's gonna win straight off because he does have the regen. But DDZ is gonna have his first delivery from the courier, so that first shipment will come through. Mac is just going to start clearing out the trends and secure those range creep with that Resonant Pulse. So pretty straightforward. But this post-tree Ogre, we have not seen that for so long since, you know, Icefall dropped a bit of a nerf hammer onto this hero. It's just so demanding, right? You have to rush this Midas, and then afterwards you only transition to proper core items.
And then you have to worry about RNG as well, whether or not the Gaijin decides to bless you with the RNG to get that kill. I mean, since Ogre hasn't played for a while, maybe that luck is starting to stack up. This could be their lucky game where they run that position 3 Ogre. We'll have to see. I wonder how you build a position 3 Ogre nowadays. Is it just pure spellcaster? Do they maybe even maybe he becomes a right clicker himself as well? He is very tanky. It is an option.
Perhaps you still go back for like what the Midas, and then you go into your core items, because I think the Midas is just too good to let go, right? Yeah, especially
for Ogre, he's not that great for farming.
And if you have a decent lead, that Midas becomes even more valuable, because you get the early Midas, you hit your multicast timing for the transmute, but the outpost is going to be stolen away by Adroit. Is going to actually take that back from New Esports. I believe Mozun did secure that outpost early on. So this kind of early outpost tug of war where two supports just capture the outpost, you know, early in before the 10-minute mark. It's not going to matter too much because you don't see too much rotations early on from teams. But it's pretty still lanes. Both teams just want to farm up.
Yeah, I think it's just a farming game for both squads. And I think something I find rather interesting is that Adroit, as of late, they seem to have slowed down as a team. They're playing a more farm-centric game, not as active as they used to be, especially for their past couple games. Do we maybe see a change of pace here for Adroit? Do they continue that slow pace, or do they continue to maybe speed it up a little bit? They're going to try and go for DDZ, but it shouldn't really happen here.
Dissimulate. They're going to go on to Yamate first. This Earthshaker tries to get away. Aether pulls him back. Boomy has the double damage though. There's one last link in, right click. That's the first blood for Adroit. Boomy takes that away, and Mac makes it look so easy.
That's a pretty interesting gank as well. We've got two insanely agile heroes, and with the double damage Queen of Pain, she's got a lot of range to work with, so there was a lot of damage output between the two of them. I think if anything, you just got to be glad that you didn't lose DDZ there for New Gaming. Yeah. Unfortunate that they gave away first blood, but I think at this rate, you got to protect your mid.
It's, you know, Yamate made the right choice, right? He rotated in time, he was accurate with the timing, but he just died. So Nightmare plus Vision, Bob Does have the insult onto him, but they drop the mid. Stroke of Fate for the slow. Lance just needs one more right click to touch up for Bog, but Bog just uses the magic stick and he should be able to get away. Breaks line of sight, so no Lucid Beam drops down. And good attempt from New Esports, but not gonna work out.
Got some really good body blocking as well, just to make sure that he keeps his teammate alive. That's unfortunate for New Esports. They would have loved to grab that kill, especially in the Luna lane. But after that gank, regardless, the creep equilibrium is in favor of New Esports. That Luna is going to keep farming. And in essence, Luna is going to be a ticking time bomb. This is a hero that you don't want to leave farming scot-free. She hits a really good timing once she's hit level 6, because all of a sudden she has access to Eclipse. And if you take a look at what the Radiant have, they don't really have any way to protect themselves if they get caught next to the Luna under an Eclipse. Yeah, so they're possibly going to lose someone right off the bat in the next team fight.
Yeah, exactly right. You hit this level 6 for Grimstroke, Ogre, just Soulbind and Double Fire Blast. It's really hard when you are facing a team, when you're going up against this kind of lineup without this frontliner, without any pipe carrier. Someone has to carry the pipe, and it's definitely not going to be the Luna. Mozu now gets ganked, the Suddenly his Wrath of Nature bounces through. He is the Fairy Fire. They might be able to take Boomy out in return, and they do, but Mag will get the kill as well. The Sprout just to block off this path of the Void Spirit, but it's going to dissimulate the safety regardless. So DDZ trying his best, but Mac will survive once more.
Ends up being a 1-for-1, so it's an equal trade across those mids. But we are starting to see Mac ramp it up. He's really putting pressure on that mid lane just to make sure, yeah, DDZ might be gone, but your supports can't take this lane. We're going to try and deny you that EXP. But they got to keep this pressure up, especially if they're up against that Nature's Prophet. We've seen what happens when DDZ if he just free farms during the first 10 minutes, he starts TPing all over the map with that farm, grabbing kills, collecting gold, also freeing up the lanes for his side lanes. Speaking of lanes, Candy Lane's lane has been pretty quiet. Natsume has already hit level 6. He's got that Dragon Form, it just expired. But I'm quite surprised that Candy Loon hasn't left that lane yet. Normally, Candy Loon, he plays a very to a certain degree, it's a very supportish style offlaner where he comes in, he's always initiating, he's never the one that ends up being a main core. So I'm quite surprised he hasn't decided to utilize that Dream Coil yet. He could have probably grabbed a kill for his team, but it seems that they're more concerned about keeping Natsume under check and making sure they don't lose that lane.
Yeah, and I think also at the same time, the more important thing is if you, as a puck, you leave the lane, you have to get something in return, right? But this Dragonite has already gotten the tier 1 to 50% health, and if you leave and he has the Elder Dragon form, you're going to lose the tier 1 top, and if you end up don't getting anything, then it's a big loss for New Esports. So we do have this discuss about this. You know, the level 6 timing for Adroit is just slightly stronger than New Esports. They can do way more with their individual ultimate. He just gets the Sprout onto the Dream Stroke, but here comes Mag, gets the Inkswell off, but surrounded by 3 members. They simulate to the high ground to get to safety, but they still lose the Grim Stroke at the end. It's going to be 1 kill for New Esports.
They're going to clear out these creeps at least. That will be denied there from Adroit. Very unfortunate for them to lose that stack.
Oh, the haste one actually bottled up by Boomy. So Boomy actually steals that away. Candylin takes a Shadow Strike. Just a bit of poke, but nothing too much can be done by this level 3 Queen of Pain. I think Boomy spent a lot of time in that middle lane to secure the lane for Mag, but now you have Fire Blast onto Mozun. They have the Ink Sword as well, so Mozun actually blocked. He actually Nightmare himself to prevent the damage, so that might be his way to get out. No, Fire Blast actually secures that. Came up Kuna just in time, but DDZ now he joins the fight with the teleportation. Lucid Beam on top of Ninja Boogie, but Ninja Boogie actually able to make it out. Gets the Fissure on top, but the damage was not there. Now Mag TP's in. They're gonna get the kill onto Land, and DDZ might need to find a way out. You have the Aether Rem to pull him back. He does have the teleportation on a 22-second cooldown. Inkswell just not going to get Mac in range for any more kills. So Adroit making the rotation and getting the crucial target from New Esports.
They just don't have enough lockdown on New Esports. You can see that they're trying to aim down these targets, but they just get away every time, whether it be through body blocks or kiting or even just any kind of disable coming in from Adroit. So we're starting to see a little bit of weakness here from New Esports. They just don't have the lockdown unless they have that initial burst, and maybe this is where Candyman will eventually become important. He'll be that source of burst damage early on while the rest of his team is catching up. Compared to the previous game we've seen from DDZ, he's getting some kills here and there, but he's not as threatening as we're used to seeing him on this Nature's Prophet. So maybe we're also starting to see the limitations of the Nature's Prophet for DDZ. He can't simply just run around as if he was on an OD or a Queen of Pain and kill someone by himself. He needs that support.
Yeah, but so far I think he's been doing pretty well. He has a dominating streak. He's been making those rotations pretty much on point. You know, supporting his team whenever something happens. That they did kill off the Ogre Magi. They killed the Grimstroke for a second time. I think Yamate finished off the Grimstroke with the Fissure. So all in all, it's still a slight win for New Esports, even though they don't have the gold lead. As Ninja Bui did find the keen optic. Pretty much gonna go over to Bog, I assume, as the Ogre does need the extra cast range. But 10 minutes in, the mid tier 1 is already down, courtesy of Natsumi. This is the power of the Dragon Knight. You leave him in lane, or you leave him in lane with a hero like Pug who cannot do anything, he's gonna start taking structures.
Yeah, the main difference as well between DK and Luna, because they sort of serve the same function. They're team fighters, they benefit the team. Luna's a lot easier to take down. She's very squishy, she has no defensive mechanism. Almost going for Candy Loon there. That was the Dragon form, but maybe we see a push.
It's a very bold attempt without any sort of engage, like a Blink Dagger. Ninja Boogie was not in range for the Phantom Embrace, so they don't get any silence. But they were just trying their luck, I guess. So Natsumi is just going to TP bot. He already took it out of the mid and top lane, and he did it all by himself. Like, he didn't really instill at least any help from his teammate. Just the Elder Dragon form was enough to take out the structures. Now they're going to start working on the bottom lane, whereas New Esports, despite having Luna and Nature's Prophet, it is just slightly harder to push into the structures, right? Like we did discuss during the draft phase with Arthur. Adroit is just better in terms of defending their structures.
Yeah, defending. They also have heroes that can survive for a lot longer in these team fights. For New Esports, they only have they have a matter of seconds basically to execute the team fight and grab some kills. Otherwise, if it's still 5v5 after all their spells have been cast, they have to run away. They've got no one that can absorb damage, create space so that they can finish off a different target. And I think now they're in a bit of a pickle because this is when they're supposed to be at their strongest. They've got this Luna, they've got the Luna with her aura, the Eclipse as well for team fight, but they're still trying to get Lance to continue farming because they know for a fact that if they try and push now 5v5, there's no way they win.
And it's going to be an Arcane Rune being bottled up by Mac as well. So this Ogre Magi, seems like he's skipping that Midas. He's going straight for, I believe, a Hood.
Yep.
He's going to buy the Pipe to protect his team. You do have the Eclipse and the Dream Core to do it. There's the Echo Slam you have to worry about as well, Wrath of Nature. So the early Pipe is definitely going to benefit your team. It seems like New Esports will bring at least 4 members alongside DDZ to the bot lane. They want to get these structures in return. This is the lane that gives New Esports access to the outpost. They start off with a Dream Core. So Natsumi is going to turn into a Dragon. Mass TP coming in from Adroit. And Yamate needs to get out alongside the rest of New Esports. But Yamate is pretty much isolated. He drops the Fissure, but they have the vision of this lone Earthshaker. DDZ says, I'm out of here. He teleports to safety. Drops the Wrath of Nature, but Yamate will be surrendered to Adroit. And New Esports just not the rotation they want.
They lost Yamate, but if you take a look at what happened on the map, they just decided we're just going to lure them all to the bottom, force out the TPs, and all of a sudden, look at all the free lanes that they have. They instantly start farming top, mid. You've also got someone in that jungle as well. So maybe the plan wasn't to push after all. Maybe if they could have gotten the kill, they could have tried. It wasn't really successful, so instead just going back to farming. Still a bit of an interesting maneuver because at the end of the day, did they really get anything out of that? Not really.
I don't think so. You are just letting that bot tier 1 take damage from the Dragon Knight since they already used the other Dragon form. Might as well start pushing with it. And they are not able to push in, or at least, damage the structures on the side of Adroit as much as they wanted, even though they have this DDZ on Nature's Prophet and less on their Luna. They're just not able to make progress when it comes to that. So Orchid was freshly picked up by DDZ, hitting a pretty good timing at 14 minutes. This is probably where you will see DDZ really make a lot of impact when the Blink Dagger reveal onto Candy Loon. He's going to get chain stun and beaten down. Candy Loon just surrenders his life and Bot will claim that kill.
Yeah, and Adroit, they mean business now. When you go Blink Dagger first on your core Dragon Knight, you're basically showing that you want to be in their face, you want to fight consistently because DK with the Blink Dagger does not rely on Dragon form. Basically just, he turns into an initiator for the team and they've got more than enough damage to kill off these squishies on the side of New Esports. They even use an Eclipse for the Queen of Pain, maybe to zone out any potential defenders, but
that's a support Queen of Pain, but you use Fiend's Grip plus Eclipse. So now you can't fight, right? The only ultimates you have is probably the Dream Core and the Echo Slam. We do hear the Orchid though. DDZ comes in, but it gets changed down by the Fire Blast. So Bok might just give up the slide. New Esports making a good rotation to pick off the Ogre Magi. 15-minute mark, they should get themselves that 2-bounding rune in the bottom side of the river as well.
And I think Adroit, maybe they kind of got baited in by that movement too, because most teams would assume, oh, they've used their big ultimates, let's just go back to farming because we also know they don't want to fight, right? But instead, just see how aggressive New Esports decided to be. They were like, okay, our ultimates are down, we're still going to keep fighting. We're going to go look for this kill. We need to take back that map control. And so they get a kill onto the Ogre. Now they're pushing bottom. Actually, yeah, they are looking to push bottom. And look at how many heroes are now congregated down in that bottom lane for Adroit. Adroit's expecting that movement.
Yeah, and Blink Dagger, fresh on this Shaker.
Tower got denied as well.
Yep. So, bit of a goal being wasted, I would say. New Esports not able to secure that. But it seems like Adroit, they want to take the fight straight to New Esports. They're trying to take control of this high ground. They see the sentry. It seems like the engage is going to be on top of Mag. He dropped the Echo Slam as well. Failure to follow up. Too much burst damage. And this Void Spray is not going to survive that. Wrath of Nature used as well. But the engage onto the backline though is onto Mozo. This Bane is silenced up. They get the Sprout, but the blink up from Natsumi gets out just in time. They catch out Mozo. Bong now to join the fight. Dragon Tail onto Candidate. They have the X-Straw and Fire Blast. Candidate is going to be burned down. 3-5 this DDZ is going to take the entire Sonic Wave in the face. Buyback straight up from Candidate. New Esports, this is their style. They want to keep on fighting. They use that buyback so there's a full commit. Lucent being on top of Natsumi. They follow up with the Illusory Orb and the Waning Rift. But do they have enough though as the buyback now comes up from the side of Adroit as well. Blink right in the re-engage. Dragon Tail to Natsumi. It's going to get burned. The dieback for Candidate. And New Esports, they probably bit on more than they can chew. And Adroit will gladly take that fight.
And this is sort of what we were talking about earlier, how Adroit, they've got more in the tank compared to New Esports. New Esports, they've got this explosive damage, but after that initial output, if they can't kill their target, they've got nothing left in the tank and they have to retreat. And that's going to be where Adroit are going to excel the most because they have so many spells on short cooldowns, and their heroes are really hard to kill. If you don't burst them down, they just turn around once the support comes in. And so if you're New Esports, you've got to be thinking, wait, this is when we are supposed to be at our strongest. Why aren't we able to get these kills? And they're probably realizing now that, wait, guys, we didn't get the lead that we wanted to. We've got heroes that we wanted, but do we have enough to finish the game?
Well, they definitely have enough to finish off Boomy. There's a dieback for the Queen of Pain as well. But it's
a support Queen of Pain.
It's a support, right? It's more, it stings more for New Esports because they did lose that post-tree core 2 times in a row. Which is pretty surprising to me that Candidate decided to buy back and rejoin the fight when their target was a Dragon Knight, right? He had no Dream Coil, and he was probably the one overcommitting. DDZ was already out. I think Les was just trying to drop Lucent Beam, but it was from a safe distance. And that Blink Dagger for Natsumi really did help out Adroit in terms of winning these kind of small skirmishes. Silver lining though for New Esports, they're not anywhere far behind. It's just a 1k gold advantage. Probably from DDZ farming the jungle on the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, it could honestly go any way now since basically a team fight is going to change the flow of that network. So it's a matter of who can take the control. And if anything, you'd probably be looking at Adroit and be saying these guys are probably going to be getting more out of all these lanes. So I hear a Dream Coil.
Dream Coil is onto Natsumi. They want to kill him off this time and they want to make sure no survivors are left. They drop the Eclipse on top of Bok, but this Ogre Man, that pretty tanky 2-headed beast, but it still goes down. Now Yamate blinks in, engages, has the fissure. They kill up Natsumi as well. Another Sonic Wave on top of an entirety of New Esports, but where's the damage from Adroit though? They need a bit more. They're gonna lose Mag. Lance says, I'll take the triple kill. Boomy sprouted out. They need a bit more control for this Queen of Pain. They're gonna sleep him. They're gonna wake him up from this very bad nightmare. Just a bit of damage to chip in the Waning Rift, and Illusory Orb will finish off that Queen of Pain. Boomy goes down, and New Esports, they take 4.
That was a really good movement coming out from New Esports. They come in from the side with Lance, immediately blow up the Ogre Magi, who was basically the only backup for Natsumi. Without the Ogre there, Natsumi was basically isolated. The team came trickling in after their 2 core heroes had died. And what do you do up against 5 heroes when you've lost 2 of your main cores? It's just the support +1. You can't really expect too much from Mac. So you've got to really consider your position. We saw the Queen of Pain and how much damage they're able to do with the Sonic Wave, but imagine if that was a 5-on-5 team fight. That would have easily gone in the way of Adroit. It was just, unfortunately for that, it was down to positioning and Boomy just getting picked off and the team just being so far away.
Yep. Speaking about that, Bog now isolated. Okay, for the top. Windgale also dropped as well. They know that they secure the Ogre Magi, so they're going to go for the backline. It's going to be Ninja Boogie being taken out as well. DDZ is wicked sick after killing off Bog. And New Esports, we're starting to see the Flower Gaming persona coming online for this team.
I just realized I was talking about Bok actually, and I kept saying Boomy. Sorry guys, my mistake. Oh my goodness. And we're getting more kills as well going into New Esports site, which is really good for New Esports because now we're starting to see that their aggression is now paying off, and it was all because of one team fight. One team fight, and now you're seeing that they're more confident, they're constantly moving around, and back to taking that map control. That was the most important thing. You've just got to stop them from pushing down those lanes. The whole point of a DK is you want to slowly munch away at the lanes until there's nothing left. And all that tower gold benefits the entire team. Everyone gets the gold, takes the map control away, less places to TP to. Super important. And I think now Natsume realizing he needs to tank up now. Because even though he's got Blink Dagger, he's also got his Sange, it's not enough. So going back to pick up that BKB, but is this BKB maybe going to be a bit too late now? Because we've started to see this edge in New Esports, and you know once New Esports has started moving, they're not going to stop ganking.
Yeah, and I think for teams that have not played against New Esports, directly, just by watching their VOD, they probably don't realize how aggressive this team is. They just love the fight, and one of the ways to beat New Esports is you either outplay them or you take the fight straight to them when they're not ready. But it's hard to beat this team at their own game. Natsumi just got that fresh Heaven's Halberd, so it's going to help him against DDZ and Lance. But Dragon Knight is at his weakest curve right now. There's 20-minute mark. He needs to wait for that level 3 ultimate and a bit more item after the BKB to start to be strong again. So you get a Dream Coil in the backline, out of the scene again. They're going to beat up the Void Grid immediately. It's going to be a monster kill for DDZ. Mac has nowhere to get out. It's going to be New Esports taking that mid tier 1, and they take the mid laner with it as well.
Adroit, they're starting to get picked apart now, and I feel like maybe they're not respecting this team fight play coming out from New Esports. They had a few heroes congregated there, but they had 2 others farming on the side lanes. They
re-engage, Echo Slam on top of Bot, and goodbye. There's no way out for this Ogre Magi as well.
They're getting picked apart now. You have to reconsider your movements now if you're Adroit. You can't simply just farm around the map like this unless you're willing to give these kills away. And you're up against a Luna draft. Luna is one of these heroes, once she starts snowballing, especially when she starts tanking up, she and her illusions plus her bounces get lethal.
Yeah, and I think at the same time, if you are a droid and you want to send someone out into the lane, it has to be someone that's beefy, right?
It has to be Natsume. Who else can you send?
Yeah, in this case, it's Natsumi and Bog. But you also have to be ready to respond, because what New Esports have been doing the entirety of this game is DDZ shows up in the back line, he ambushes someone, Orchid, Silence, and Sprout. The rest of New Esports, they're there, they're playing as a unit, whereas Adroit, they are still trying to get this individual farms, which is understandable, but with how fast New Esports is playing, I think Adroit needs to respect them a bit more. 8k goal lead for the Dire team.
And it's going to get worse unless somehow Adroit can maybe patch up some of these holes in the ship, because so far they're taking on water. But the thing is, what can they really do? Because the issue here now is that you can see here for a fact that Adroit are afraid. They're now grouping up. They're getting picked apart. Again, another hero gets picked off. This time it's Boomy on the Queen of Pain. You can't let these pickoffs happen anymore, because every time you lose that hero, you're basically bleeding out into New Esports, who wants these kills, who wants this blood, and now they've basically conditioned Adroit to stick together because they know if they separate and if they get caught, they're going to lose heroes.
So the power of the puck, the Dream Coil prevents you from blinking away, so any sort of blink skill or item is not going to be effective. Even skills that create distance like this Aether, this Astral Step, and DZ now with the BKB. He might consider going for Bloodthorn immediately, depends on the situation, but at this stage I think this Nature's Prophet is just so huge that Adroit really has to respect him, and he's actually going to buy a fresh Desolator. Speeds out the pushing of structures, allows him to hit way harder, and he's just going to start assassinating those support. This Dragon Knight, Dragon Blood is not going to matter too much. But at the same time, Mac also got his Axe as well. So this Axe, Silence from Resonance Pulse, might be the turning point, or at least give Adroit a bit of a fighting chance.
Mac is their only hope now. Mac is their main source of damage. Unfortunately for Natsume, he just doesn't do anything now. He's pretty much an initiating off-laner.
Yeah, that's probably one of the issues with this off-lane Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi is terrible when your team is behind, and when he's behind, and you can see that the situation around is that Bok, sure he has to put a Defiance, he's building it into a pipe, but other than that, just a steroid spot. He's just going to keep bloodlusting his teammates, fire blasting, using Ignite and soaking up whatever damage that he can. Other than that, he's not providing too much for his team, so more weight lies on the shoulders of both Natsumi and Mac. But New Esports going for the push in that mid lane.
I'm not sure if you can really defend this. If anything, it's going to have to be high ground for Adroit. There is no way they can defend on this low ground.
If you try though, Mac goes right in, tries to go for the combo, but immediately gets gripped by Mosul. He is going to be taken now. No buyback. That is the Echo Slam that we've been looking for. The Cliff now gets dropped down. Get the soul fight a bit too late. But Adroit, they have already lost 2 members. This the off-laner also going down as well. You can see Adroit being forced to retreat immediately. Last taking some tower aggro, but it's not going to matter. Sonic Wave also expanded from booming early on. New Esports. You only lose Yamate, but the damage is done.
Oh, a little bit of a bizarre team fight. I suppose it will force New Esports away, but they lost 2 heroes only to get Yamate. Not the best trade, and you still lost your tower in the process. Seems like we're starting to see a sense of urgency in Adroit to try and slow this game down. But we've seen how bloodthirsty New Esports can be, and they're going to try and find Boomy. Not going to quite get it there. But they're bloodthirsty. Once they start pushing, it doesn't stop. And I think Adroit, unless they can get their game together, maybe start to try and pick off New Esports themselves, I think this is just a sinking ship.
It's hard because I think you need Mac to be the one to do that. He has the Astral Stab into Resonance Pulse Silence. Maybe Natsumi starts off with the Blink Dragon Tail. Didn't drop the Dream Coil, almost catches Boomy, but this Queen of Pain still has a long way to go. He blinks into the Dire Base. He knows he's dead. Yeah, they're gonna track him with the courier as well. Goodbye, friend.
Well, I mean, Boomy did create a little bit of space during that, so I guess that's the good news there for Adroit. But for how long will that space be? They're still going to keep on farming though. Net worth as well, very, very scary. You've got DDZ up top, followed by Lance. And the next one behind them is that DK, but Natsume, he's 3k behind Lance.
Yes, 13k goal advantage for New Esports. Bloodthorn now completed for DDZ. Anyone who goes on is just going to be obliterated. This Dragon Knight is falling behind. This Void Spirit is not even close to the BKB.
It's the unfortunate truth with the DK. It's a hero that he can't just be left farming all game. He needs to also accumulate gold through towers, through kills to keep up, unless you pick up something such as a Midas on him. But most teams don't really go for that for DK. They just build him tanky, go straight for that BKB. And so, because DK doesn't have that farming ability, he's just falling further and further behind. Eventually, the Void Spirit might even eclipse that DK, because I'm very sure Mac can definitely farm faster than Natsume can.
Yeah, considering the fact that Adroit hit such a decent timing on that DK Blink Dagger, they were not able to get too much out of it.
I'm surprised they didn't decide to try and just roam around the map with Mac and Natsume, just go for those kills. Dragon Tail, such a short cooldown, really long duration as well.
Probably because New Esports have been sticking together, and after that first loss of the team fight, Adroit just didn't want to commit. And now Boomy, he gets the fresh fuels that takes away the silence from the Orchid. So Boomy should be able to TP out of safety. Sprout from DDZ, great guess, but Boomy is already out.
It's a really tough game here for Adroit, but the best they can do is just try and drag it for as long as they can. Keep farming Natsume. He's got the BKB, he's going for Ags next. It's probably his best option right now just to get that Black Dragon form, but it's so far away. He still needs another 4,000 gold. And when are we going to see that 4,000 come out? Probably in the next 10 minutes, 20 minutes? Not 20, probably too long. Hopefully 10 to 15 minutes. But if they can find to their base, there's going to be very limited gold income for that Dragon Knight.
Oh, 30-minute mark is approaching.
They need to find something, but if this is a wasted smoke, it's a really, really important asset that just won't be utilized.
Yeah, that smoke is not going to pay off in any way. New Esports, they already rotated to the top side.
Going around. Do they have vision? There's no vision there.
They're gonna try, but DDZ already picked off one of the members. They're actually gonna be the boogie, so it's gonna be a 4 versus 5. DDZ pops KB, bounce off ball, get counter the blink in, echoes that Finn's grip onto Natsumi. And New Esports find themselves 3 quick kills. Adroit just not able to respond in any way. Now New Esports has a 21k net worth advantage over Adroit.
I think at this rate, you've got to start thinking about the next game here if you're Adroit. You've got to look at what went wrong during that first game, what kind of heroes are going to be expecting banned. I think Nation Prophet, definite ban. You can't give DDZ that level of mobility and freeness in lane. Nation Prophet's a very strong laner. It's not a hero that you can just sort of leave uncontested like that. Maybe giving Natsume a hero that can also be a little bit more proactive without needing so much farm. I think the idea behind the DK was great, but the follow-up heroes, they didn't really have anyone that could do any damage after the DK. It basically all they had was Max. They had an Ogre Magi. I'm not sure what the idea was behind the Ogre, because normally Ogre is to buff someone up.
Yep.
But who can they buff?
They're gonna try though with the Grimstroke Ultimate Soulbind. Drop everything. Sonic Wave comes through. Lands onto 3 members of New Esports. But where's the damage? We're still looking for a droid to actually do damage to New Esports. Heading to the Fresh Act. Does drop the Dream Core. He might be surrendered. Just get away. The Glimmer Kick. Gives him a life for a while, but the Free Fire was get hit. Also caught up by Dragon Tail and pulled back by the Aether Remnant. So at least a droid. They get 2 kills from that. One of them is a core. Guess it's the best that they could ask for.
Yep, they had to use everything. High ground advantage as well. Very, very costly, but nonetheless, they are still dragging that game. But how long can they drag this game for? Because before the Luna also hits critical mass, you also have to consider that Luna, she's a hero that is so good at using her items. She scales so nicely, especially once she starts building up HP. Her illusions and herself being able to bounce those blades. She's the perfect tower pusher once you've taken down the tower, because the bouncers, you can't even approach the lane.
The scariest thing about Luna is just when she starts using tier 3 and tier 4. Because of the glyphs, as you said, tier 3 goes down, both your Rexes start taking damage at the same time. Tier 4s as well, the bouncing glyphs is just way too strong if she gets that opportunity. And with this Axe Dream Coil from Candy Dune, life just got 10 times harder for a droid to deal with.
BKB's more or less, not useless, but less effective, especially once they hit by that coil. Yeah, it looks like we might just be seeing New Esports poising themselves to that final push just to finish the game and bring it to game 2. Adroit, again, best thing they can hope for is potentially win a high ground team fight. Maybe New Esports makes a very big mistake. They can prolong the game even longer, and maybe Natsume gets the farm that he needs.
Oh my goodness, what?
Died so quickly.
You have not seen a call Prophet for so long that you don't even expect him to hit that fast and that hard. This is the new post one for at least for this meta. But like I said, the problem with the core ogre is he's so ineffective. You could consider this hero at this stage of the game as probably just useless. He has Fire Blast, he has Bloodlust, but what else can he do? He can't even soak up damage from New Esports anymore. It's the limitations of Ogre. I think if the Ogre was a lot fatter than this and he had more items, he could tank up himself, but he also had access to things like, for example, with Ags, having 2 stuns, having the chance for the double. Yamate? Yep, they find him. It's a small price to pay. And oh my goodness. That's a big price to pay. Well, he Rexes. And it's gonna be Roshan as well. New Esports should be feeling pretty comfortable taking this down. You can't really seem to get a break if you're Adroit. It's just there's someone on one side of the map, there's someone on the other side of the map, someone's dying, they're taking Roshan. You just can't seem to really get control over over New Esports. They're gonna try and go for Roche. This is so desperate. This is the trade-off is just too big. I think even if they get the Aegis, it's not going to win them the game, but if they lose the Aegis,
They deny it the best they could hope for, but
Dreamcore comes in, immediately a team comes from Lazar. Look at the damage, the Dragon's gonna be slayed straight up. Has the BKB, so just a buyback straight away though from Bog. He needs to rejoin the fight. Dragon Tail on top of DDZ. They're pulling back with the 8th remnant. Umi also pretty much surviving, use himself up to take out DDZ, but DDZ, he has the buyback and he's gonna rejoin the fight. Now Sobai comes out on both Mozun and Canidun, but the damage is not there anymore. Double fire blast, is it from Bog? Can he do much? Maybe can get the stun onto Mozun. Mozun does take it down and he use that up, but look at DDZ, solo kills Natsumi, and the buyback is gonna start funneling in from New Esports. They say we have the money and we have the strength. They're gonna take down the members from Adroit. Adroit now buys back, but can they really continue this fight though? DDZ, a bit far away from his team, managed to try and stun, but instantly gets looked on, and DDZ stands, wow! That's the ultra for the Nature's Prophet, and Adroit just instantly regrets the decision. There's gonna be game. Adroit, they call it, they surrender. And New Esports, the underdogs, they start things off with a bang. They take game 1 from Adroit.
there were a lot of issues in that game for Adroit. Can't speak for them, but maybe